Symmetrical drawing can easily be done in Procreate. Using the Symmetry drawing guides, you can activate the guidelines by going to the Action menu, tapping on Canvas, activating the drawing guide and edit guides, just like with 2D, isometric, and perspective. You can adjust the opacity of the guides, and the thickness and the color. We have a new option under Symmetry, and that is the Options button. If tap on that, you'll see a vertical, horizontal quadrant, and radial options. Vertical are 2 vertical segments. Horizontal is 2 horizontal segments. Quadrant is 4 segments and radial is 8 segments. We also have rotational symmetry, which is mirrored image, but flipped and assisted drawing. With Symmetry, you have to have assisted drawing on at all times, otherwise it won't work. So let's check out our vertical drawing settings. We are going to turn on vertical and select Done. We have 2 vertical layers. Our first top layer has this little girl that needs to have a little bit of humanity added to her, or anatomy. So we are going to turn on the bottom layer, and because I like to draw on layers, I am going to draw on the lower layer. So let's select our tools and start drawing. As you can see, when I draw on one side of the vertical, the drawing happens in real time on the other side. Of course, this girl needs to communicate, so we need to give her some way to do that. Now she is ready to go. Now this is an extremely quick and easy way to do some fun things, don't you think? Let's go and look at the quadrant. We are going to turn on the quadrant layer. Go back into the settings and edit the drawing guides. Go under Options, select Quadrant. This time we are going to turn on rotational symmetry because I feel that rotational symmetry works really beautifully with the quadrant. Again, that flipping quality adds some interesting things with quadrant. So we are going to go back into Done and select Quadrant and start drawing. You can even use the quick shapes to draw really perfect lines. Perfectly shaped lines. They kind of snap into that shape. But what can you do is drag and drop color to make it look even more interesting. So that's actually a really cool way to test out different logo, design options, or icon options. Keep that in mind. Now let's take a look at radial. I have 2 layers for radial only because I like to work in layers and I'm not sure what I want to do with it. We have to go back in, edit the editing guides. Go under the options, turn on radial. I am going to turn off symmetry because I personally like radial without the symmetry turned on. Select in and select my tools and colors. Open my layers and turn them on. That does help, and just start drawing. Instantly with radial, I get some really fun shapes. It's one of those things. It's kind of hard to screw up with radial because it's just so interesting. You can see how quickly the radial makes things interesting and fun to play with. You can incorporate an eraser and go back in and lift some of your color out. So I admit, I am obsessed with symmetrical drawing. There's a strange satisfaction and meditative quality to the experience. So I highly suggest you to try it out for yourself.